Welcome back, everybody, to the weekend show. I'll be breaking down the big mega cap stocks. So, before we get started, please hit that like button, and that is greatly appreciated. And if you're new here, definitely consider subscribing. And now, let's get right into the market first. All right, so welcome back. And the futures market is about to open right now. And you can see Trump warns Iran to get moving or there won't be anything left. But we heard about it so many times. It's the same taco thing happening over and over. First, they got 48 hours, then they have 1 week, then 2 weeks, and all that crap. I don't know what's going to happen. I wish I have an answer for you guys, but this can go on for I don't know how long. Already almost 3 months now. And guess who's paying for all that? Us, taxpayers. We are paying for the gas. We are paying for the high inflation and everything. And this thing just not needed for the American people. And now we have that. What stock market did on Friday? Well, we had a little bit of decline. Dow was down 1%, Nasdaq down 1.54%, S&P down 1.24%, Russell down 2.41%. Advancing gains, see right on my screen, only 24%, and declining was 71.7%. 11 sectors, all were actually in red except energy led the way. We saw massive spike in oil, and who knows what oil is going to do this week. So keep an eye on this. Even for the week, energy led the way on top, up 5%. Stock market map, a lot of these semiconductor names, you know, they were down Friday, but nothing significant. It's not like Intel was down 25%, where I can talk about it. They just gave back some of those gains from Thursday, so nothing big. Good to see Microsoft going up 3% on some good catalyst, some news, and then Apple was up once again. I think we did hit a brand new all-time high, but everything else was a deep red except energy here. You can see right on my screen. We got some data next week, nothing really big to read into. Some building permits, jobless claims, and then we have, I think, Michigan consumer sentiment that's coming out Friday. Fear and greed index. Now, this thing is at still greed. We have a number reading at 63. So we'll see how things are going next week. But the way Microsoft is going, I think we need to start talking about it. So let's get started on Microsoft. All right, so Microsoft rate was up 3% all the way up to 428. A little bit of rejection there. You can see even before that we had a rejection there at 428. So that is a level to break. But I think 428 to 430-ish, if we can stay over that, this gap comes into play, which I think we're going to fill this gap. Maybe not this week, not maybe the following week, but we're gonna get to this gap at some point in near future. So Microsoft pulling back and giving back some of those gains. It was down a tiny bit just after closing, but you can see pretty big rally. We gapped up, did not fill the gap, so bulls were holding up pretty strong. We do have this left shoulder, head, right shoulder. You can see it better on the weekly chart, and we just need to break out of this, 428 to 430. If that happens, if we can stay over that, this thing is gone. If we get a pullback come Monday, watch for 417, 20 SMA as a potential support. Underneath that, we might fill the gap at 411.84. To the upside, continuation happens. If we go back up and we break and hold 428 to 430, there is going to be a lot more. And I mean a lot more to the upside. You can still participate in this rally because look at the gap here, 478, huge gap. And we're nowhere near that gap right now on Microsoft. So this thing looks really good. Some people may not like this chart, but I think all we have to look at here on Microsoft, this level to break, and to the downside, I would say we don't want to get under 405 to 400, whatever happens next few sessions. On Apple stock, it was up 0.68%, so brand new all-time high on Friday, despite market selling off. Because guess what? Anytime you see market selling off, even when the market sold off here on March, end of the March, what happened? Did Apple actually go down and take out this low? Nope, that wasn't the case. So this is more like flight to safety, I would say, because Apple is one of those stocks where market can go down, where Apple can just stay flat. to even green. People parking their money on Apple. And this is exactly what's happening. We saw a pullback rotation out of semiconductor, and I don't mind Apple going up. This is definitely not unhealthy way of going up. This thing is going up, had pullbacks as the stock going up. You can see we had a move to the upside here. We had a decent pullback. Then we had another move. We had a pullback. Another move. We had a pullback. Even on these moves, these are not all green candles. We had, look at this move from earnings. We had massive pullback. So if you want to participate, you can. Where some of the other names you cannot participate because they're just going gapping up and going. So this is a really nice, bullish, healthy looking chart. As long as we remain over 300 to, I would say, 297, stay bullish on Apple and look for continuation to the upside. Taking over 303 will take us to 305 and possibly into 310. If it breaks under 300 and then takes out 5-day 297-ish, you could come back into 294.72, let's say 295, and possibly come down and retest 288 once again. On AMD, it's down 5.69%, so nothing, not a big pullback where I would be concerned. What I'm looking at here, if this thing pulls back and takes out 402, in that case, we might be filling this gap from earnings. But otherwise, I mean, we're just hanging in there in a still really strong move to the upside. If it gets over this 430 again, 430, 431, we can possibly see continuation up to 445 into possibly this high 458, and then previous all-time highs from last week right here 469. And just a quick reminder for you guys, if you guys want to get daily trade ideas, swing trade ideas, live trading, and all kinds of long-term and short-term setups, definitely head over to Patreon, and that link will be down below in the description. And if you go for annual membership, you do save some money there. On Meta, it's down 0.68%. So Meta was down on Friday, but you can see we came down here off of this 5-day moving average, went back up and got rejection at the 50. So just bunch of chop. If this thing can stay over 614, watch out for a break over 621, 50-day moving average, and then we can possibly go into the 20-day here into the gap, and that might happen this week. But if this thing breaks below 614, takes out the 610 level, we could be going back down to 600 and possibly into this gap down here at 575. On Google, it was down 0.97%. So Google had a nice move to the downside. You can see Google came all the way down here on Wednesday and then went back up and just a lot of back and forth. But if you look at my screen, this could be somewhat of a double top. No confirmation yet, unless we take out these lows down here. That's going to be around 379, 380. If we take that out, Google can definitely come down. But as of right now, holding over 5-day moving average 392. As long as that holds, watch out for a break over 398. That should take Google back to 400 and possibly even into 410 to 420 plus, because you can see the Bollinger Band expanded all the way up to 421. Now, if there is any kind of a pullback where this thing comes down under 383, that's when I'll be really cautious that this thing want to come down and maybe retest 20-day moving average as support, which is sitting at 370 as of right now. On Amazon, stock is down 1.15%. So Amazon had a gap down. We were not able to fill the gap up to 66.63. So that's going to be a resistance to watch. Also, come tomorrow morning, if this thing does not open over this 20-day, which is at almost 265-ish, watch out for continuation to the downside. 258, that's definitely on the card. And that's previous all-time highs. You can see right on my screen right here. That should be a strong level. Now, if we gap down and somehow gets under 258, then there will be more downside all the way down to 250 to 248 on Amazon. If we can come back up and fill the gap and hold over 266, watch out for continuation up to 274 and possibly into 278. On Tesla, stock is down 4.75%. So going with the president to China did not really help. And there was no deal, there was nothing going on. They went on taxpayers' money, guys. And there was absolutely no deal. As a matter of fact, the humiliation that I saw, especially when the president went to China and the plane actually landed. Where was Xi Jinping? He never actually came down to receive the president, and then he was just standing there alone. And then Trump had to walk all the way to him to shake his hands. I mean, this is getting ridiculous, like who has the superpower and who is the number one country, right? We don't have to go to China. We don't have to do all that. And all these rich people, Elon Musk, you got Tim Cook, you got, the CEO of BlackRock, all going into China with whose money? Why are they on Air Force One? Because that's the plane that we pay for the president to fly everywhere. And what deals we got? Even the H what 200 chips on Nvidia was not even part of the game. So they went there for nothing, just had a good time. Jensen Huang was eating noodles. I mean, come on. Is that why they went to China? So there was no deal, nothing. They got humiliated by Xi Jinping, and just a normal hello hi was there. That visit didn't bring anything to U.S. and there was no negotiation, there was no partnership, nothing. If you want to look up, go ahead and look into it. There's nothing really going on, and especially all these rich people going in one plane and just getting humiliated by China was not really worth it. Now this is why you're seeing the gap down on Tesla. And if this thing continues, I think early as let's say tomorrow morning, you can fill the gap at 415, possibly even head lower down to 401. If we see continuation, Tesla needs to get over 433 to move up to this gap from Friday, 441, and then we can talk about take out these highs 452 into that next gap, which is up here. We'll talk about it in midweek update. On Nvidia, stock is down 4.42%. So Nvidia also had a nice move to the downside, and we do have the biggest earnings on earth on this Wednesday, the 20th of May. Nvidia will release earnings. So maybe this run up is already priced in. We'll see how that goes. I don't like to predict earnings, but I think this might be priced in. And like I said, they went to China for what? You guys saw the guy is eating noodles, and it's just insane. I mean, why they went to China and what they did. We basically got nothing. Like you and I, the regular people who voted, people who are waiting for some sort of a good news, there was none, nothing, right? And the Strait of Hormuz is still closed, so there is no news from there as well. And guess what? Now you got to pay. I mean, a lot of things like potatoes, what do you call it? Tomatoes, beef at all time high, and there is so many to mention. So there is so many things that we're paying a lot more. It's not like the president is saying a small price to pay so they won't have a nuclear weapon. It's really bad where some people cannot put food on the table. And guess what? Do you think rich people care if you cannot put food on the table? Nobody gives a crap. They have so much money, even if these things are, you know, if they have to pay what they're paying for like gold and silver to get these things, like normal stuff, they would pay that much money because they have that money. But you and I, we don't have that kind of money. We cannot afford that kind of price, and the prices are just going up. Even like so many products. It's hard to just name, in top of your head. It's too many things that are going up. Even housing market, right? Things are going up. Shelter going up. If these things are going up, guess what? Who's paying? Us. So the war now, no deal out of China, nothing really happened. All that was just a show off, bluff, and guess what? We got humiliated by a Chinese president, and we got back home, and now we're talking about again Iran. We're just gonna do a lot of things, and then 2 weeks, 4 weeks, and 8 weeks. Come on, give me a break. That's not how things are gonna work. And guess what, guys? Did you guys see all those trades? I mean, I used to hate Nancy for her trades, which I thought would be legal, but compared to how many trades she did you guys see the trades that Trump had or probably holding? There was a massive amount of things that he bought and sold and possibly holding. So I don't think anybody who's It's not just the president or speaker of the house. I think if you are in the government, you have classified information on all the things. It should be illegal to trade in the market. You shouldn't be trading because you have a job. Trading is people who are actually just trading, or institution that are actually surviving. That's their thing, right? The machines, they're gonna trade. But as a person, especially working with the government or working within the government, you shouldn't be trading. And if you're trading, I mean, I know my words not gonna do anything. It's not gonna probably mean shit to a lot of people. But people that are within the government, they shouldn't be trading at all, because they're misusing information. And guess what? They know which way Nvidia is going to move. They know which way Microsoft is going to move. They know which way AMD is going to move. So they're taking position ahead of the time. And then they're making money. Some of us losing money because we don't know what direction things are going. You're looking at the chart and you think it's a bearish looking chart, and then there goes the catalyst, because they know the catalyst is going to come out, right? And it's going to go up, but you're looking at the chart, you don't know anything. So that should be illegal. A lot of things are really bad happening right now. And even though market sitting at all-time high. So just because things are going up really fast, market going up, does not mean that we can come back down. So that is, just my, thoughts, especially when it comes to insider trading and all that, and oil trade, guys. You guys seen it many, many times already, like three, four times. Millions worth of oil trades, especially shorting, placed before any Trump tweet. So how is that coming out? Who's making the money? I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys know the answer to that. So Nvidia, you can see it's hanging on to that 225, the 5-day moving average. That breaks, we could be retesting this high here around 216, 217, and then into that previous all-time high right around 212. Continuation to the upside, 232 breaks, then we can possibly come back and retest 236.54, maybe even a new all-time high possible before earnings. All right, so Broadcom was down 3.32%. So nothing really big, but if you look at my screen, I mean, things are not really going in the right direction, especially for Broadcom. And if you look at it, I mean, yeah, you can call this some sort of a bull flag. We're just, making a massive bull flag, but things will get really ugly, especially if we break under 413 and we stay under that previous all-time high. That could bring Broadcom down, possibly into the gap, possibly into this gap. So watch out if this thing is just consolidating. I mean, this would look like a nice bull flag, but we need to see a breakout, especially I would say over 437 to 438. It needs to stay over that for this bull flag to play out to the upside. But as of right now, I'm not too concerned about this, just chop happening inside this box. If this thing plays out, yes, we could see, more upside, possibly going higher. But as of right now, it just consolidating. So watch this key support for 13.39. Underneath that, we could be retesting these lows down here, 406, and then these lows down here, 394 into 387. So Netflix, it's up 0.09%. Nothing big, pretty flat day, but you can see we had a massive move all the way up here to almost 90, but we gave back everything. So this thing is just consolidating. Is this some sort of a bottom here? Well, possibly if this high can stay up here and we don't come back and take out this low 85.5, as long as we remain over that, I would say break this right here, right about 89.5. If we can take that out, this would be a breakout off of this trend line, and then watch out off to the races for the next resistance right here, 91.7, and then watch out for continuation to the upside here on Netflix. But this is going to be the key zone right here. We need to hold this 85.5. If not, this thing would go lower from here. But as of right now, just consolidating, you can see, a bunch of candles here just getting stacked up. We're not really going anywhere last few days, last entire week. We made some attempts to move higher, but immediately rejection came. So that 89.5 needs to break for continuation, and this trend line has to break as well on Netflix. And that's all I have for you guys in this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll definitely try to keep you guys updated